Well, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to introduce our dream, the concept of Ekikrit to you. I am Viresh Garg. I'm one of the three co-founders of Ekikrit. I got the inspiration for this movement from my own personal experiences. I was amazed by the success of integration of modern and traditional integrative medicine in my own personal experience. In contrast to the historical mental health issues that led to resignations and being sent to psychiatric facilities, now after integration, I've had no major incidents and I'm aspiring to create a leading health tech company focused on making my kind of success available to everyone living with any chronic condition. In the global world, everything good becomes globally accepted quickly. We saw how COVID spread quickly throughout the world. So we researched why the traditional and integrative medicine that has been so successfully employed in the Eastern world has not been able to make a global impact in the Western world. And here are our findings. Number one, we found that the vendor providers of integrative solutions like dietary supplements, herbal medicines, superfoods, online yoga and meditation, and meals is a very, very mature and crowded market. Currently, the market does not need a new vendor for the therapies, but it is very clear that there is a strong need to digitize the provider and user experience for integrative healthcare, much like modern medicine, to enable higher adoption and embracement. Secondly, the reason goodness of dietary supplements and superfoods is not even remotely fully realized in the Western world is the lack of safety information for their interaction with modern medicines, each other, and their contraindications with health conditions. In lack of this safety data, the modern medicine doctors are skeptical to recommend them, and the users find it very hard to trust the broad spectrum of integrative providers like functional medicine doctors, traditional doctors, and naturopathic doctors. Overall, integrative medicine market for the lifestyle diseases, the metabolic disorders, to say, mental diseases, and preventive wellness, assuming only $100 per year per user spend, is around 38 billions in USA. The actual market size for all chronic conditions worldwide is predicted to be around $275 billion. Harvard, Stanford, UCLA, and many other premium institutes now offer academic programs for integrative medicine. There is even a board certification for integrative medicine. Institutes like Andrew Weil in Arizona and Maharshi University now offer a MS in integrative medicine with focus on Ayurveda, the Indian traditional system of medicine. These are just some examples. A lot more is happening in the entire Western world when it comes to integrative medicine. The opportunity for integrative medicine is very real. Recapping the problems again, lack of automation and digital platform at par with modern medicine for integrative medicine, and lack of safety data at par with modern medicine for integrative medicine. So let's talk about how Ekikrit addresses these issues. We address them with three unique approaches. Number one, we are focusing on completely redefining wellness to be something more than general fitness, weight management, stress and anxiety, and things like that. We are focused on understanding our users' unique risk profiles and preventing those high risk predispositions from turning into diseases. Secondly, we are creating a marketplace for all integrative product vendors, starting with dietary supplements, superfood, yoga, meditation, and meals. I talked about them. And lastly, we are building world's first safety database for all integrative therapies and world's first complete automation software to provide inline recommendations of safety to the providers. So the way it's going to work is that we will start by onboarding the products of our partner vendors with fitment to our safety-based, evidence-based integrative protocols. Once these products from these partner vendors are onboarded, we take line the baseline information for the efficacy and safety of those products from our partner vendors, and we further bolster it with our own independent review and research to cover the specific safety information around interactions, and contraindications. This empowers then the providers and users with the safety information for integrative solutions at par with modern medicine. Now, the providers and users use the digital capabilities in our EHR EMR platform to use these products in managing healthcare for diseases and wellness. The evidence level, both for efficacy as well as safety, continues to mature over time with high touch engagements with providers and users powered by Ekikrit. The EHR and EMR capabilities of Ekikrit are a simple 5-step process. One, we focus on understanding the user's full medical history, the past diseases, the current diseases, risks, symptoms, and current modern medicine. Second, we understand the goals of integration that the doctor and patient mutually agreed on. Third, we provide rule-based recommendation in software that will then be AI-based once we have enough data from our users in a matter of 3 to 4 years. Fourth, we provide safety guidance in line to the doctor when the doctor is recommending integrative solutions. And last but not the least, we provide a platform for the providers and users to participate in a lifelong dialogue to experience the most optimized healthcare. When it comes to making an impact on the overall community from the healthcare perspective, I'll start with vendors. The vendors of integrative products will get better reach to providers and users when their products are combined with the additional value of EHR EMR capabilities and fitment into evidence-based, safe, integrative protocols, all available through the digitization empowered by Ekikrit. As far as providers are concerned, they will get much needed automation for operational efficiency that is missing for integrative healthcare in terms of EHR, EMR capabilities, and they will be able to review the best fit products for their users from all the vendors available in the Ekikrit marketplace. The fitment data, as I said before, will continue to be enhanced and evolve based on user feedback, their journal entries, their reviews and ratings, and other features that you commonly see on all digital platforms. Patients get the best healthcare for their chronic conditions and predispositions and are able to realize their full potential like me. There is a lot that must be done for safety on the trust, confidence, and vote of approval from providers and users. The highlights here are focused on users' current conditions, users' current diseases, and the modern medicine employed by the user. My most favorite on this chart that I did not even think of as safety information until I started researching this field is the safety information about overdose. Come to think of it, if you are providing a dietary supplement, someone can overdose on that dietary supplement. And when you go with overdose to ER, the ER doctor must know the antidote for that overdose. So the safety information that we will provide will go to that level where we will not release any product on our platform until we know what are the antidotes for overdose of those supplements. There is something for every kind of doctor in Ekikrit, irrespective of their level of trust and confidence in integrative medicine. We have carefully designed features for some of the modern medicine doctors who may not be willing to try even a single integrative therapy for now. We simply want everyone, all vendors, all providers, and all users to get some incremental value from our platform in the MVP launch. We will then work tirelessly to gain their trust, respect, and loyalty for the entire platform over time. Talking about the financials, the founders have self-funded $400,000 launch in January 2024. They're now seeking funding of around $1 million to scale out to 15 providers in 2024. After achieving that goal, we would be seeking an additional funding of $3 million in the second year to expand our outreach to the top 5 most populated states in America. As far as our MVP scope is concerned, I want to first talk about our launch plan. Dr. Amit Gumman is a MD in modern medicine, as well as academically and clinically trained and board certified in traditional medicine. He's one of the best integrative medicine practitioners we have come across who has a very successful practice in Oklahoma. We are humbled and privileged to report that he has agreed to be our partner vendor in our MVP launch. He actually manufactures dietary supplements and superfoods under the brand name Harmony Veda. Additionally, we are about to close with one additional vendor and one additional provider. So our launch will have two vendors and two providers, one Dr. Amit Guman's clinic and one more clinic, where our software will be available to the providers as well as the users. The feature focus is in our MVP from the software perspective is trying to achieve two goals. Number one, when it comes to providers, we want to deliver them operational efficiency, much like modern medicine software delivers them, EHR, EMRs deliver them on modern medicine. And when it comes to our users, we want to achieve elevated adoption of integrative medicine, and we'll achieve that through features that will provide them white glove and high touch engagements. Starting with the current user base of Harmony Veda, which is around 3,000 patients in 2023, we grow to 5,000 doctors and around 5 million users in a short span of 5 years. The value provided to our vendor partners, providers, and users is projected to generate a revenue of 375 million in the year 2028. Going with the most conservative valuation multiplier of 5x, as opposed to general multiplier of 10x usually used in the software industry, we aspire to build a venture of close to $2 billion in 5 years. And by building this venture, we are going to enable everyone in this process to live up to their full potential with their chronic conditions and chronic predispositions. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share our dream. We hope to learn from your feedback and your experiences. We look forward to collaborating and partnering with some of you as we continue to make progress in our journey. For the short term, we aspire to have a follow-up opportunity individually with each one of you to demo the product to enable you to visualize the provider and user experience on platform Ekikrit. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We'll be happy to take your questions now.
Okay. Thank you, Viresh. That was a nice presentation, and you've made a lot of progress.
Thank you.
Since I last saw your work. So thank you. It's time for Q&A. So if the audience have any questions, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I will ask some questions. Viresh, how do you make money? How does your company make money? Do they charge the providers or do they charge the patients?
That's
suppliers?
a great question. Thank you so much for asking, Uli. Right? The analogy that comes to my mind is that, when it comes to building hotel industry, there are two approaches. There is a Marriott approach where you will first open brick and mortar hotels, and then you will have a Marriott.com website on it. And there is an Airbnb approach, where, anyone's, space sharing can come, in a marketplace. And then, the users get additional value that, they understand that it will be safe, they understand that it will be clean, they understand the quality and standard that, the provider will maintain, and so on and so forth. So the users start going to the platform rather than to the provider directly because they get additional value from the platform. We aspire to give the same value to providers and users. And by providing that additional value to providers and users, the vendors start selling more of their products. Right? Indian companies, for example, Harmony Veda. Let's just take example of Harmony Veda, who is our MVP partner. Their products right now are sold on Amazon Marketplace, but no one knows about those products, right? As we get connected to more providers and more users, right, they will get significant brand awareness. Patients will and doctors will get safety data information, EHR, EMR capabilities. So the way we make money is by, every transaction of the integrative products that goes through platform Ekikrit leaves, a share for Ekikrit, for the value that Ekikrit provided to that product, right? So we make money, in simple terms, as a cut that we will take from all the vendor product providers, and then we will provide those products on our platform to the providers and to the users. Thank you for that question.
So it's more like an e-commerce with e-commerce marketplace with added benefit of information, safety and that information, right?
I'm glad you asked that question, right? So there are, when I said it's a crowded market by vendors, it is a crowded market in e-commerce also. There are, I think if you do a search of how many websites sell ashwagandha or curcumin, two of the most product dietary supplements in America, you will find not thousands, tens of thousands websites. So building an e-commerce website is not value. The way we are providing value, some of that you touch on, Dr. Uli, is safety data, putting them into integrative protocol, telling doctors that if someone has diabetes and is dealing with A1C number progressing with age, they should take this dietary supplement. So there are targeted integrative goals to which the products have been fit. We have done the fitment of the products, but additionally we provide complete EHR EMR capabilities. There is some content that we create, for example, yoga content and diet content is something that we will provide. So now when you're buying a dietary supplement, you're not only getting that dietary supplement, additionally, you will be able to realize the benefits of platform. For example, we may give you free membership to do yoga and meditation on our platform. We may give you free recommendations on diet. So there's a lot of value which goes significantly beyond e-commerce that we provide to the user, because of which user will come on our platform, realize that entire gamut of value, right? And get the most optimized sort of impact in their chronic conditions. And in return of that, they will continue to buy more dietary supplements, which will make our partner vendors happy. And that's how we, and that's how we will grow.
Yeah.
Yuli, I would just like to add something to what Viresh said, because sometimes it's very easy to kind of look at it with a slightly short-sighted view that, what, this is how they are making money, means they are just an e-commerce site. But one of the biggest problem that we are solving, which nobody has solved today, is to make dietary supplements equivalent to the modern medicines in the market. And while the whole world knows, most of the people know, even in Europe, that it delivers so much of benefits, etc., officially nobody wants to prescribe it, use it, or maybe they just use it for a month or so because my friend told me or my doc said that, what, if you want, take it, it's going to help you, but I'm not going to write anything for you. We want to solve that problem because that is the biggest bottleneck in this arena right now. And we are going to sit in and play a pivotal role to overcome that barrier. So I just wanted to add to that.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Rohit.
Viresh.
Very
Thanks.
good.
Great. Thank you. Sunil has a question. How do you provide the evidence base backing up? Where do you find the evidence? Do you go to other, PubMed articles? How do you provide evidence for integrative practice?
That's a great question. Right? It turns out there are two different ways integrative medicine safety information is evolving. Unfortunately, hasn't been a platform that has tried to just connect the dots from everyone, right? So the good news, I'm going to explain it in multiple steps. The first good news is that there is a ton of evidence that already exists. It's published into papers. It's published into papers. Many times it's available at a herb level. Many times it is available at an active principle of herb level, almost following the same pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics principles that modern medicine follows, right? So the good news is that a lot of this evidence is available. No one has, tried to connect the dots, assemble all this information, which is unstructured PDF documents, and put it in a structured database so that a rule engine can process it. Number one. Number two, for the herbs, for last 100 years, there is a science of chemistry called phytochemistry that has focused on finding the active principles, which are compounds that deliver therapeutic value in herbs, right? A lot of active principles are already found. And now we can follow the modern medicine method of doing, you know, PK/PD predictions in silico studies. We can confirm them then in vitro on stem cells. You know, we can take then, you know, our evidence in vivo, we can take them to human pilots, and we can go as broad or as wide and as big as clinical trials, right? You know, Ekikrit will start with, you know, something that can be done in 6 to 8 months time frame, and that is assembling all of the existing evidence that is already there in the world and doing some computer predictions and, you know, in vitro studies, and we'll provide transparency to everyone what the source of our evidence is. And then as we continue to mature over time, we will further elevate the maturity of our evidence by investing into in vivo and human trials.
Okay. Lucy asks, thank you for the presentation. Can you talk about your nutrition protocol? Do you have a nutrition protocol that you follow?
Yes, a great question. So, you know, there are two different things that we are doing on the nutrition. The one thing that we are doing is that we have divided the diet into 10 different categories: grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, white meat, red meat, dairy alternate. These are all categories. Then for each category, we are studying the top 25 ingredients in America. For example, for grains, let's talk about flaxseed, wheat, rice, you know, oat, quinoa. Like these are, you know, some of the most popular grains, right? So we will look at top 25 grains in each category, and we will study them from 3 different perspectives. Number one, because we're doing integrative medicine, and right now we are focused more on the Indian traditional system. The Indian system has certain properties, you know, that, you know, we are going to calculate for each one of the ingredients. Then you have nutritional value, right? For macronutrients and micronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, macronutrients, and magnesium, potassium, micronutrients. So we'll have that as the second database. The third database will be active compounds or active principles in food that actually are, you know, bind with organs, and mechanism of action happens, and they deliver therapeutic value. So we are creating a food nutritional database bank that catalogs their traditional property, modern property from nutritional side, and modern properties from the pharmacological side. And then based on these 3 different sort of, you know, sort of set of properties and characteristics, then we are designing the nutritional protocols to make recommendations on what are the right things to eat for your unique conditions, you know, chronic conditions and predispositions. So that's our overall sort of nutritional protocol. In addition to that, you know, if a vendor has meal products, right, they deliver, let's say, meal plans for weight loss or meat plans for lowering your sugar level in diabetes, right? We will onboard their product and we'll do the same thing on their product. We will look at the ingredients of their product and provide information on nutritional value, provide information on traditional value, and provide information on, you know, the therapeutic active agents to, you know, to our users, right? So there are 2 different ways, you know, in which we are handling the area of diet and nutrition.
Great. Brian asks, I think that one of the main challenges with dietary supplements in the US is that there's not standardization of quality. Brian, do you want to come online and ask or comment?
Yeah, hang on just a sec. Yeah, so I mean, I've spent some time in both worlds, if you want to call it that, both in traditional medicine and integrative medicine, and you know, that's always the big challenge. Is you have to be very careful about what you're getting, you know, when you're prescribing. You know, so curcumin from some vendor may be completely different from somewhere else, and so as an integrative practitioner, when I was doing that, I was very purposeful in where I, you know, what particular supplements that I recommended. And a lot of times it required me, you know, kind of dismissing or trying to steer patients away from cheaper products. And, you know, so I think that that's something that this could be very helpful with is, you know, if you could do some product vetting rather than just, you know, trying to make it accessible. on your site, that would be useful, because otherwise it's very difficult, especially for people who don't spend a lot of time in the integrated world. That's why traditional doctors are hesitant, not necessarily because we don't think that it could work. It's that you just don't know what you're getting.
Yeah. So, Dr. Brian, first of all, thank you so much for asking that question. And I'm very inspired to see that a doctor like you actually endorses integrative medicine, because most don't. So first of all, that itself is a victory for Ekikrit. My answer to your question is the following: every vendor that provides dietary supplement will claim two things. I use USGA certified organic ingredients, and I use my plant is GMP certified, right? And it's very hard to understand that if everyone is saying that, what is the difference in one from another, right? So when it comes to onboarding a vendor into our marketplace, I have a research team in India that is right now defining a protocol of that, what that onboarding process will look like. For example, we will do quarterly audits of their manufacturing plant. We will do random testing for lead, arsenic, and other kind of heavy metals in their products. We will do audit of not only their plant but their entire supply chain. Will go all the way to a field somewhere in southern India where the herb is grown, right? So when it comes to safety information, I only focus on things that generally modern medicine doctors care about, which is drug to herb interaction, drug to condition interaction, and things like that. But you are absolutely spot on. One of the reasons an independent platform like Ekikrit is needed, so that we can decipher some of this for doctors in an independent way, and you don't feel the, what is the right word, not guilt, but you don't feel like you're going to end up recommending a sub quality product to your patient, and ultimately is going to cause harm because it has heavy metals. So thank you so much for your question, and that is absolutely in our plan. And Dr. Brian, I would love to do a follow-up with you to gain from your experience and see how we need to fine-tune our plan to make sure that we are delivering on the challenges that you saw.
Great. Thank you very much, Viresh. I think